Fantastic.
Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome back to my Planet Coaster Let's Play, where our coaster park here is doing okay. It's tidying over a nice little profit. Not a massive one, for now, a little profit, and that's what we needed. So, here it is. This is what we've got so far. We've got plenty of people in and around, waiting for rides and coasters and spending money at shops and so forth. It's doing okay. So now that we've got this starter, what are we going to do with the rest of the park? Well, I don't know if many of you guessed it yet, but this is going to be a Back to the Future themed theme park. Now, the Back to the Future films are really quite dear to my heart. I saw the first one when I was, I think, very young indeed, and I watched that one and the two that came after it many times, and I enjoy them immensely. The whole idea, the thought, the process that it put together, the intertwining of storylines and timelines was just something that fascinated me, as well as it generally being very entertaining. So that is what we're going to do, and how are we going to do that? Well, what I was thinking was, and this is the plan at the moment. Let's get to top-down planning mode. There we go. So we've got our starter park, which we'll probably rip out eventually. But in the middle, I wanted to build the Courthouse Square from 1985. The main first film takes place in that particular sort of era. And then, in that film, they go back to 1955, but I'm not 100% sure on this, because in 1955 that's where most of the time is spent. So even though the first film is set in one period, most of it's set in another. So what I was thinking is we'll have the standard, we'll start with 1955 here in the middle, and then we can do a future version over here, and then maybe the western past one over here. Maybe skip the present, or what is supposed to be the present anyway. Who wants to live life in the present anyway? The other option is that we can put the present in the middle and then put other things at the back. The problem with that is that 1975 and 1955 aren't massively different. There's lots of little subtle changes, but the buildings, the theme, and the main park itself is not different at all, really. So we'll start off with that. So first things first, we have to figure out how we're going to build the Courthouse Square. Now, I've done a little bit of research for this, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but I want to start off by putting some paths in. What we're going to do, we're going to put paths down where the sides of the road should be. The problem is that I don't know how I'm going to join up this path to the paths that are going to be up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a brand new path grid. Now we've got, let's just check out to see what paths we've got. We can have this path here, which is perfect for what we want. Well, I say perfect, it's pretty close. The paths there were very dark and had a red line around them. This one's got an orange line, but it gives you the same sort of idea. There's also this one, which just has a standard brick tile, which will work quite well for some parts. Although it does have the Planet Coaster logo on it, it's probably not perfect. This one might be actually one of the main ones of choice that we use, or the flagstone brick one, probably this. I'm not sure. That one might actually be more of the future one. So I think we're probably going to have to go with this one and drop the red line that we see in the series. So let's start a brand new grid. If we can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a 1 by... Well, I think the thinnest we can do is 4 meters, isn't it, for this sort of path? Let's see, 4 meters. Can we do... there we go, let's have a look. There we go. So that's the thinnest we can do, and I think that is appropriate for the pavements. Yeah, that's very appropriate for the pavements. And then what? Oh no, actually, hang on a minute. Am I talking out my? No, I'm not. So then we can get thicknesses of 8 and so forth. Okay, right, perfect. Lots of thinking and planning here, but we'll get there with it. Now, I want this to be more or less in the middle, so you can see that the game boundaries go off that way, and I think they're over here. I can see those ones there. This is the middle here. Let's just start with that. There we go. Brilliant. Right. There we go. We have our starting point. Now, I was thinking, I mean, you can see here we've got an angle snap of 90. Do I put this in the same orientation as the park, i.e. the squares that go this way and this way? Or do I cross the orientation? Now, it's just going to make things really, really difficult if I cross the orientation, I think. So, we're going to skew the whole thing. Right then, we need the main park. So I think if we just bring down the length to 3, let's put... does that look still quite in the middle? Yeah, it does. Right, so bear in mind, I'm not actually building the roads right now. I'm building the paths around the roads. So I'm doing the main courthouse square to begin with. Let's make it... That long looks about right. It'd be nice to get some of the building tools out and actually see how many blocks long this is. So I think we've got a number of meters. Look, yeah, I think because we're going to have to build the courthouse along this on the far side. So we've got any wall pieces. So yeah, that is the length of a wall segment. So I think we're going to be looking good at that plus curves. Okay, back to the path. Okay, so this is going to be one side of our park. We want it then to curve round. Now, should we have a sharp curve like this? Or should we give it a bit more of a curve? I think we ought to give it a bit more of a curve. Let's give it a bit more of a curve. So can we do a 2 curve? You know what? I think a 3 curve might actually be best. Let's try that. Yeah, we'll have a 3 curve. We'll have a 3 curve there and a 3 curve there. Oh my goodness, all of a sudden it's daytime. Now we need to make this square. Oh dear. Is that square? Well, actually, it doesn't have to be perfectly square. And there's a reason for that. We'll put this going like this first. And then we'll do this one going this way. There we are, that'll do for now. Now, this is our courthouse square. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a screenshot from the movie up roughly now. So that is really, it's quite difficult because I did a little bit of research, like I mentioned earlier, and there isn't many good shots of the whole area, but it's okay. It's not too bad. I'm just thinking now, there was a slightly darker, greyer and wider path in front of the courthouse. So, let's do that. Let's make it 7 wide and try and get it about right. I think I need to increase the length of this first. There we go. So, let's see. This wants to be more or less a square, so I think this is a job to go from above. It seems to want to snap to the end if I put it there. That looks like it's too short, so let's lengthen this off again so it's not snapping to it. There we go. And let's lengthen that a bit as well, just so we can work with this nicely. There we go. So I think if I just eyeball it, we'll be okay. There we go. Right, so this is the wider path that sits in front of the courthouse in the film. It is a different colour. It does need to be a little bit unique. I'm kind of liking this already. Right, okay, I've redone this now so that it should be even. We've lost some of our curve on the corner, but I think that should fix it. If I get a long enough length here and allow a 45-degree angle from here, I think we're going to get it pretty good. I mean, look at this. That, I think, is near perfect. Got an ever so slight kink there. You can only just tell from above. Maybe if we delete this bit and then reconnect it. Let's see. It's not 100%, but it's very close. And then that connects up there. Well, there we go. That is the paths done for the square. It's taken a while to get this, but I wanted to get this perfectly right, or at least as perfect as I can. Now, there is a number of crossings and a number of other rows that we have to deal with. So for crossings, I'm going to use the natural paths that are just these dots. They will look like the crossings. Now the question is how wide we have the roads, and actually that probably looks about right. But what we're going to do is we're not going to put that straight in there. Oh, no, no, no. We're going to do the paths on the other side first by selecting grid again. So we can have the road either 3 squares wide or 4 squares wide. I think 4 squares is probably best. Then if we want, we can put a slither down the middle. So just to mark up all the different things that are going on there. So we've got 4 squares wide there and 4 squares wide there. There's a junction in each corner. I did study a couple of different parts of the video to refresh my memory. I didn't really learn much by watching the video, but it was good to see anyway. The junction that comes off this way actually bends up slightly. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep it straight, so it's just going to come out this way. This is a dead end. And then this here is a T-junction, so that's a dead end there as well. It comes down this way and goes up that way. And then here, where the courthouse is, this just continues straight up. And then there's a junction up here, which we'll put in later. Later or now? No, put it in now. And this one's the same as well. There's no junctions down here. It just goes straight up. And then I think it probably just connects up there. Then this section down the side of the courthouse is, I think that might be a little bit long, so let's just pull that back slightly. And then there's like a semi-diagonal bit that comes off this one, so I'm not going to do it in grid mode. We're going to freehand that. But what we are going to do is we're going to do the gap of 4 that you would get here with that piece of road, and we're going to put the angle in by doing this. That's the T-junction angle. So we connect those two up, we should be fine, and then bring these out following this angle. So for every 1, 2, 3, 4 it goes. Is it 5? For every 4 it goes along, it steps out 1. So let's do that one more. So like that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gap, step. Okay. So that's really what we're after here. Now I think getting this bit right is very, very important. Once we got this right, I can put buildings in, I can put rides in. I intend to put rides around this whole thing. So let me now connect this all up, and it should look a lot better. So, I mean, length 5 is the longest we've got, but that's okay. So this bit comes straight. This one in the film, I believe, is slightly bent, but I'm not going to do that. There we go. Just notice we've got this here. Let's get rid of that. Can we get rid of that? There we go. Let's connect that up to there. Leave that open for now. Connect up all these bits. This is going to be difficult, I think, that end bit. But we'll see. Just connect all this up. Brilliant. This bit down here is where Marty starts when he does his run up in the DeLorean to go towards the lightning bolt. There we go. It's coming together now. This bit, like I said, is going to be difficult. I think we're going to have to remove angle snap and see if we can. Yeah, that actually works quite well. Let's put angle snap on, but like reduce it to like 1% or something stupid like that. That seems to have worked. Looks like for this bit though, I do need all these points in order to make it work. That is slightly kinky. I think it's probably the best we're going to do. It's not bad actually. There we go. Now, I'm going to assume that this is connecting up, I think, at some point. There we go. Right, I'll finish this and then we'll get on with the features of the area. Okay, so that's all the paths done in the immediate vicinity. These will need connecting up and joining to other parts of the park. This is actually quite big. It's a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. But we'll get all the rides in around it. We'll probably rebuild. I will rebuild this over here, but we'll back it up against the wall so that like one of these sections is up against the edge of the park. Same over here, but this is our main feature. This is the awesome part, supposedly. Next thing I'm going to do is see if I can put some sort of cladding down on the floor. Now, if we look at like the terrain tool, I don't think there's anything that we can put in that will look like road. We've got rocks, yeah, grasses and just general stuff, but there's nothing that I think will really look like road. So I don't think we're going to be able to do the road like that. Let's see. We might be able to do the road with buildings. So if we go to... There's all recent doors and windows decorations. Roof? We put roof tiles on the floor? We got like a black roof tile. We've got the custom shapes tool as well. In the scenery, we have the art shapes. So in theory, we could put like an art-shaped tile on the floor like that. The only problem is then I'd have to try and get it to match up with each other. I wonder if... Let's see. There is an angle snap and there is an align to surface tool. So I'm not sure. Maybe... Yeah, this is going to be difficult. Placing all these. There must be an easy way to connect these together. Right. I'm gonna fiddle with this and work out the best way to do it. Okay, so I've got a black tile. I changed the colour to black. And I got the height that I wanted it to be at. And it seems to be working out okay. The only problem is that I'm a little bit worried that I'm increasing the number of entities in this park by a massive amount. It is going to take quite some filling in. So I just got that wrong. There's a gap there. To get all of this road put in. But I've got a feeling it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to go around and do all this. I have a feeling it's going to take a while. Okay, so I've done most of the roads now and I'm just filling in some corner pieces. In the end I did a section and I saved it as a blueprint. And then I used that blueprint to do other bits a bit quicker. So rather than placing individual tiles all over the place. Looks like I've just got one little bit to fill in now. So let's get a square, make it black, rotate it round slightly. There we go. And then just need to lower it into place. So if I do this, perfect. And there we go. We have some roads in. The sun shines off it greatly. I might do some tidying up. These ones round here for some reason are a bit more visible than some of the others, the corner pieces. But to be honest, they as long as you're not right up against them, it blends in moderately well. If I think of a better way of doing this in the future, I might change it out. But for now, there are the main road pieces in place. The next thing to do is to actually do the bushes and the trees in the courthouse square themselves. Now, there is, depending on which time zone you're in, whether there's a railing and so forth, but we are going with bushes along the edge. Let's see what scenery we've got and if there's anything that matches it. So we've got all these hedges and stuff here, but here we are. Now there's a shaped hedge, and I believe this is probably our best bet. I mean, the colours are a little bit garish, to be honest, for what I'm after. I was after something a little bit darker. But it's not going to happen, is it? That's gonna have to be what we get. Now, let's rotate this round and see how well it butts up against the path. Not too bad. Problem is this going to look a bit funny if we repeatedly put it along here? Let's put a few in place. Well, the pattern is slightly repetitive, and there was a gap there that I'm not very happy with. Perhaps this is something I'm going to have to save as a blueprint and then repeat in a few different places. Yeah, I think that might be the case. Okay, let's put a few more in. There we go. Okay, let's select them. If I can. There we go, brilliant. Save it as a blueprint. So there's my road segment. Here is going to be my long hedge. Long hedge 001, why not? I'm not intending on publishing these to the Steam Workshop, so I'm not putting a lot of interesting things, and I'm not putting lots of tags and stuff on there. So I can go blueprints, my long hedge, and I can just stick it right on the end. The only problem is, for some reason, it seems to have lost its height when it came into the world. So let's see. Can I get that so it sits almost perfectly together? Yep. Okay, good. And how far along do we get to go? Oh, look at that. It almost goes perfectly for where I want it. Cool. Okay, so I'll put the other hedges in, and I'll see you in a moment. And just finishing off the last bit of hedge round the back here. Looks like just a slight adjustment needed on the height. There we go. Just filling in the gaps that the blueprint really wouldn't have followed very well. And then there we go. Well, we now have a hedge around our square. Now the next thing I want to do is get the not level crossings in, the pedestrian crossings in. Though where they go depends on the time zone, and I don't think I have any sort of good I don't have any good time kind of like crossings, any reference, that's the word I was looking for. I don't have any good references for this. Now I have been looking in various different clips and scenes, and it really just seems to be mainly around the junctions. So let's do that. Let's put them in, and then we'll get some lamps and some other bits, maybe a tree or two. There is a big tree in there somewhere. So let's do the path. We're going to go with the natural path, and we're going to use the one with natural path and make this one, I think. So let's try it here. Yeah, that works. Now we need to try and get something that's similar. So we're kind of only just overlapping the hedge there. So if we look here, only just overlap the hedge there. Yes, okay. This here is the cafe on this corner. I'm looking forward to building that. So it looks like it, yeah, if you look at that, it snaps with a small gap. So there's the snap, there's the small gap. Oh yes, that's going to work well. Let's put some down here. So there's the snap, there's the small gap. And like I said, I don't know the exact positioning of these, so I'm just going to put them near the main junctions. There we go. There may be some up there, I'm not sure, but we'll do this one there, and we'll leave the others for now, I think. Yeah, we'll leave the others for now. We're not gonna, the courthouse, I will either import from a previous build that I did, or I will build it again. I haven't decided yet. We're going to do the cafe, we're going to do all the famous features from the film eventually, but now I think it's time for lamps and trees. So if we go with scenery, have a quick look through some of these. It looks like there's a big tree somewhere over here in the corner. Something not too dissimilar. Not too dissimilar to that. It is a bit bigger though. I mean, like probably one of the biggest trees that they have in the area. And I don't think I have anything that is really going to be big enough. I mean, that's probably the biggest we can do. So let's put that one in. Let's put that one there. There we go. And we do have some trees that look a little like this. I'm thinking we'll put one down here. There we go. It might have been further along here actually where the tree was, but it's difficult to tell from my note. I tell you what, I've changed my mind. We're going to put this one in. I'm going to put it down here. There we go. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. So we've got those bushes in, we've got the trees in. Now we need bushes at the entrances to the park area. I'm thinking about these ones, but they're way too well trimmed. I mean, I know this one was well trimmed, but oh my goodness. Oh no, hang on a minute. Yeah, I think this big oak tree is probably best. It is the right sort of site. Let's get rid of this one. In fact, let's get rid of this one. Move this one to here. And then put that big one in. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Nope, that can't be it. Was it near the bottom? There we go. Kablank. That's more like it. That is much better. It's probably about as the size of the courthouse, really, to be honest. Now, what was I talking about? I was talking about bushes. Yeah, we need some bushes on the corner, but I didn't want them to be as regimented as those other ones. Oh, look at archway. So, I do want to avoid just using things like this. These are good, but they're too big. I could cheat by putting them in the ground like that. Actually, that could work quite nicely. Let's give it a go. Treetops. Oh yes, that's much better. Yeah. The only problem is they look a little bit similar, but to be honest, it's not too bad. Let's go over here, pop some in. One there and one there. Doesn't matter if it's overlapping the path slightly. And then I think over here as well at the entrance to this side, one there, and fantastic. Oh my goodness, this is really starting to come along. From just a few paths that looked a bit weird, it's actually getting some character about it now. Now there's some benches and bins and so forth in this area as well. There's actually the famous, well, semi-famous bin. I think it's round here where Marty takes the newspaper out of the bin to find out what year he's in. And he doesn't quite believe it. But we'll leave that for now. Also, I want to start looking at the lighting, but where the poles are is actually very important for the clock tower and the way that it's connected up. So we're going to leave lighting off for now as well. Now this ground here, it's a little bit flat, it's a little bit smooth. Let's get the terrain tool, sculpting. Have we got some sort of, yeah, we've got a roughen tool. Let's make it huge and a really low intensity. Just give it a little bit of movement in the ground, just so it's not completely and perfect flat. There we go. It's just costing. It's not costing us much money. There we go. I mean, that's got a bit of a dimple there now, but never mind. It's fine. And what else? What else can we put in? Maybe we will put the lamps in. Maybe we will. Let's see what lamps we have. Lighting. We've got the standard street light, which is kind of right, but it's the wrong sort of it. This is the best lamppost we have. The base of the lamppost is actually fairly similar to the way the lampposts are in the film, and the top not too far off. It is the best we've got, and I think it does the job okay. So we need to put some of these in. I think there's at least 4. Now I want to say that one of them goes here on the kind of the street corner, but it's really difficult. I'm going to put it here on this side like this. Yes, we'll put it there like that. We'll do the same on this side. So it's just this side of the crossing. And though this lamppost is actually in part of the film, and of course we've got the famous ones over here that Doc puts them between, which is a little bit odd because you don't normally get lampposts directly straight opposite each other. Normally they're staggered. But in this particular area, they're not. So there we go. There's some lampposts in. There's all the ones I know about. So let's put some extra ones in to help finish it off. So we're not going with 100% accuracy on this. We'll mimic those two over there on this side of the square. There we go. Really. Oh yes, brilliant. So we've got the lamppost in. There is a bench in the park, and I'm trying to remember exactly where it is. I think it's in this front hedge here, and I don't know what sort of benches we've got. It's a kind of a cross between this and this. So I'm going to put that bench in there because I think that's probably one of the closest ones. There are some other benches, but for now we'll just start with that one and we'll expand this out. This is a long-term growth project. So today what have I done? Today I have built not a lot, but it's a very important framework, and for me getting this right was very important. It was key in building up an area which really does feel like it's from the film. I feel I've got a lot of the important features in there. We've got the roads looking more or less how I want them. We've got the lamppost, the main green square with the paths in looking pretty neat actually, and the hedges around the park. There's some further details that we've put in, including the bench and some lights, but we're going to be putting more details in as we go and as we build the buildings. Next episode, I want to be looking at putting something into this area, possibly a courthouse, possibly some buildings down the side, but one of the main things I want to look at is actually getting a ride in some sort of way. I need to think about how we're going to do that. Perhaps we can have a ride that goes along the roads, something along those lines. We'll have to see. Well, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to put a bin down here, a trash can, as I think I remembered more or less where Marty picks up the newspaper out of. It was somewhere around here. It's definitely this corner. He enters this area, crosses this path, and then it takes place. It could be that the bin's actually here. I don't know. I'm going to have to double check that. But things getting there. It's getting there. I'm liking it. Hope you do too. Leave your thoughts, ideas and questions. Any tips? Anything that I might have, you think I've got wrong? Anyway, you think I might be able to improve it. Let me know. Nothing majorly exciting, but a very good framework for coming episodes. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please remember to give it a like. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so to follow this series and the many other series that I do. But for now, take care. Remember your comments in the section below. And I'll see you soon. Goodbye.